Breaking news, and a huge loss for Governor DeSantis and a huge financial loss for the state of Florida. Let me tell you what's going on that's kind of been missed with everything else happening in the last week or so in the U.S. With me here, it's regarding Alligator Alcatraz. While it appears that Governor DeSantis won with a 2-1 decision in the 11th District Court of Appeals that said Alligator Alcatraz could remain open, but, big but, Governor DeSantis had counted on being reimbursed by FEMA and Department of Homeland Security for the $245 million to up to $450 million a year that they were spending on Alligator Alcatraz. But the ruling said this: as long as it was all maintained and paid by the state, the National Environmental Protection Act, NEPA, did not apply. If any federal funds were spent on this project, then the National Environmental Protection Act would come into play, and that's how they were trying to shut down Alligator Alcatraz, saying that it didn't follow the proper protocol for the National Environmental Protection Act. If Governor DeSantis accepts one federal penny, that act will come into play, and Alligator Alcatraz could potentially again be shut down because of the the National Environmental Protection Act that it would have violated because they didn't do any of the things they should have done. So the bottom line is this: Governor DeSantis was counting on the federal government to fund and pay for Alligator Alcatraz, and for those that were making money off of this to all be the state to be reimbursed by the feds, and all those contracts that were let that were non-competitive that they just gave them to who they decided they wanted to give them to. The state's going to have to pay for it, and Florida taxpayers like me are going to have to pay for it. They're not going to get reimbursed from the feds. If they do, the National Environmental Protection Act comes into play. Governor DeSantis and the state of Florida now are on the hook up to this $450 million expenditure, and some of this will be annually, to run Alligator Alcatraz. As a voter in Florida, as a taxpayer in Florida, did you vote for this? Did you know this is what you're going to get to spend $450 million a year or so for? I'd prefer to spend it on schools, on the environment, teacher pay, a lot of other things we could spend this money for. Governor DeSantis is not telling you about this, but this is the consequences. If he takes one federal penny, it's going to get shut down. And there you have it. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs. Pass the word. We'd love to know what you think.